These are the latest images of Alfie Evans, the little boy at the centre of a desperate battle over his future. Doctors at Alderhay Children's Hospital in Liverpool say he's in a semi-vegetative state. He's on life support with a rare, undiagnosed degenerative neurological condition. His parents, who've already lost a court battle to keep him alive, say he responds to them, but medics disagree. Outside court in London this afternoon, Alfie's dad remained defiant.
No one, and I repeat, no one in this country has taken my boy away from me. No one.
Free Alfie Evans!
News that Alfie's ventilator could soon be switched off triggered protests here and abroad at the weekend.
Hopefully get the Queen, the Pope, anything, the MPs, everyone together to try and change the decision for Alfie.
This was, of course, the news that they had all been dreading. A High Court judge has indeed now set a date when the little boy's life support can be withdrawn.
I spoke with Kate earlier. She is understandably broken up, and Tom is angry, understandably, and they just are coming to terms with it.
A rally for Alfie. Supporters turned out today for a vigil in the shadow of Alderhay, the children's hospital where Alfie Evans has spent most of his young life. Doctors met relatives today to discuss end-of-life care, but the politician Stephen Wolfe, who's been helping the campaign, told me the hospital is now considering a second opinion.
The hospital has been very positive. They've listened to what we've said, and they're going away to consider the three options.
Well, Stephen Wolfe, the MEP who was at that meeting today, described it as a clear coming together of minds to rethink the situation. Now, I must stress that Alderhay have not commented whatsoever about what happened here today.
There's a lot of support, do you know what I mean? I don't see the harm in him getting transferred to another hospital to get treatment.
Alfie remains here at Alderhay on life support. That is because of the appeal process that his parents went through. But now that process has been exhausted, and with the hospital applying to the judge for a new date, it appears that the options for Alfie's parents are running out. A blessing from the head of the Catholic Church. Alfie Evans' father left his son's bedside for an audience today with the Pope.
I come with you today to share the suffering that me and my family are going through.
Tom Evans has vowed to do everything in his power to keep Alfie alive, and while the legal options once again appear to be running out, he still has faith in the Church.
Please help me save Alfie.
Okay, we'll do it.
Tom Evans landed back in the northwest this afternoon to cheers from a group of supporters. He'd requested their presence and that of the media to say he felt like he was listened to.
The Pope said I was right, that God decides, not Alderhay, not the doctors here, not any parents neither.
You're prepared to leave this country?
We don't have anyone speaking for Alfie apart from me and Kate. In Italy, everyone's speaking out for Alfie.
It may have been a brief visit to Rome, but not only does Tom Evans say he's prepared to return there, he now sees his and Alfie's future in Italy. It is a place, he says, where at least they are made to feel welcome.
Tom Evans and Kate James want to move Alfie to a hospital in Rome, but today judges at the Supreme Court rejected their appeal for a second time.
Alfie remains on a ventilator at Alderhay Hospital, where we can now join Andy Bonner. Andy, is this the end of the legal road for Alfie's parents?
Well, Elaine, this is the 7th time now that the courts have said no to the parents of Alfie Evans, and tonight Alderhay is saying there can be no more waiting. Crucially, this ruling means that a plan to withdraw treatment and effectively bring Alfie's life to an end now is back on.
Extraordinary scenes tonight with police guarding the entrance of the Alderhay Children's Hospital in Liverpool and protesters forming an angry crowd outside.
Oh, well, Lucy, this has been one of the most highly emotionally charged days in the last few months I can remember here at Alderhay, and it came about after Alfie's father, Tom Evans, requested people return here to the hospital to peacefully protest. Well, tonight there are still a couple of hundred people here just around the corner at Alderhay Hospital. The road outside Alderhay has been blockaded a couple of times today, and at one point, as you mentioned, a group of those protesters even tried to get in through the hospital main entrance all at the same time. They were stopped by a line of police, and it has to be said that the majority of the protesters actually did stay back where they'd been standing a respectful distance away from the hospital, but it does show you, I think, just the levels of emotion here today. Conversely, at one point there were moments of quiet when the Lord's Prayer was said, and all of this was going on, of course, while Alfie Evans was still inside the hospital, at times visible on Facebook Lives.
And Andy, we understand that the Italian government has been involved today.
Yeah, that's right, Lucy. Alfie Evans tonight has been granted Italian citizenship, although it's not known at this stage whether it will allow him to be moved, something which the courts, of course, say is not in Alfie's best interests anyway. Alderhay themselves have said very little today, apart from the fact that the hospital is open to visitors, patients and staff, and Alfie's family tonight are simply urging the protests to remain peaceful and for prayers to be said for the little boy who tonight remains in this hospital behind me.
Andy, thank you.